This pick, when you get it, see it's been drawn down to a nice sharp point.
Okay.
But you can't dig with that point.
Mm-hmm.
It'll go in and wedge itself. So you blunt it right here on the end, on both ends, both points. And now when it goes into whatever you're digging, it fractures it and makes it release the pick so that you can pull it back out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had an old pick and both ends was bent and curled up. And Mr. Hayward Jones took the pick and straightened it all out and drew it down into a nice point. And then he took a hammer and hit right on both ends. This end here
Now wait a
and
minute.
this end here.
Let's back up. He asked you if you wanted him to do what?
Well, I was going to.
Okay.
So he hit that and blunted it. So as when it goes in, it fractures whatever you're digging.
Mm-hmm.
Dirt, coal, whatever. And so he asked me, as soon as I handed him the pick, he said, "Do you want the pick anchored?" Well, my pride was I wasn't going to let him know that I didn't know what he's talking about, for which is a foolish thing. A person that knows what they're talking about knows right off whether you know what they're talking about or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him, I said, "Yeah," I said, "go ahead and put a handle in it, because it's like this, no handle was in it." So I thought, well, he wants to put a handle in it, and I told him, yeah. So we talked on a little more, and he said, "Do you want this pick anchored?" And I said, told him, I said, "Yeah, Mr. Jones." I said, "You go ahead and put a handle in it." So we talked on for a few more minutes, and he said the third time, "Do you want this pick anchored?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Mr. Jones, when you asked me the first time, you knew I didn't know what you was talking about. But I had too much pride to admit to you that I didn't know. So now I got to admit it. I don't know what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about having a handle in it." But what they do, they curve this, take one end and curve it. See, just like this right here now. Let me get this in there. Now see, this end he'll curve, lay it on the horn of the anvil and bend it around it and get it to where he thinks it's what it should be for the fellow that's using that pick. And then he'll take the pick with the handle in it and he'll stick this into the post for your anvil like that, and your handle is going down and in the ground. You'll step on the handle, making an indentation in the ground. Then when he heats up this other side, curves it to make it match this side, he sticks it back in this same hole right here, and the handle down there in that same hole. If it doesn't match, then he bends this to work, heats it and bends it to work it will match. That's called anchoring when they do it, because then it makes it look like a ship anchor. So,
And where did Hayward live?
Hayward lived way back up in the woods outside of Levacy, West Virginia. That coal up there was, as far as I know, was owned by Westmoreland Coal Company. Westmoreland Coal Company was owned by the C&O Railroad. The C&O Railroad was owned by CSX, and so C&O leased the coal out to an operator, and he he mined the coal for Westmoreland Coal Company.
Yeah. Thank you, Papa.
And I had Levacy, Quinwood. There was 2 mines I had at Levacy. Quinwood number 2 was right off, turned right off the road. When you turned off the road, you was turning in their driveway to number 2 mines. And I had number 7 mines. And they had a dog there at number 2. When the men would get on the belt and ride the belt back to where they were going, the dog would jump on the belt and he'd ride back there with them. And he'd walk around through the section. I watched him. He'd look around at everything, then come back and give it back. By that time, the belt was running coal out. He'd just jump up on there with the coal and ride back out and then jump off.
Do you know the dog's name?
I don't know his name. I was just wondering that. I think I used to know at one time, but I don't now.
Mm-hmm. Do you know about what year that was, Papa?
Oh, that was probably around 19. Might have been about between 1980 and 1985.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly what year it was. See, when you buy a coal mine pick, the pick is pretty well straight.
Mm-hmm.
See, the spacing in here is pretty much the same as this. Then they curve these 2 ends, and when they curve them like that, looks like a ship anchor.
I see.
And they call it anchoring it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought he was talking about putting a handle in it because my old pick didn't have a handle in it. But he was talking about bending those curves. And he showed me how you get the 2 curves to match each other.
Mm-hmm.
So you take this and stick it in there like that, into the post that your anvil is mounted on. And then the handle goes down here, and you step on the handle and make an indentation in the earth. Then you heat up this end of it, put it back in this set of tongs right here, just like this. Then you lay it on the anvil and bend this over the horn of the anvil to curve it so this curve matches that curve. Now, to know you got them right, when you get this and put it in the same hole that this one made first, you put it in there and the handle goes down. If it's right, it'll go right in the same hole where the handle made the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not, then you adjust this to where the handle will go in that hole, and this will go in the hole of the post of the anvil. And then you got them both the same angle bend.
Gotcha.
And that's called anchoring when they do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you.
These I ever saw.
Yeah.
I think Mommy found these for me up at morning.
And what are they, Papa?
Tongs to hold a pick, so coal mine pick, so it can work on it.
Yeah.
See how it holds? And that eye right there lets that thing come on down in there where you got a good hold on it. You see it?
Yeah.
Then when you get through working this end of it, then you can cool it down, turn it around, put this end in. There we go. Now, so you can draw this down to a nice point.
Mm-hmm.
Then after you get that done, then you take a hammer and hit it right on the end right here on this sharp point.
Yeah.
That blunts it.
Mm-hmm.
And when Mr. Jones did that with my pick, it made me mad. So why did he do that? And finally, I asked Mr. Jones, why'd you blunt the end of my pick? He said, you can't dig with a sharp pointed pick. I said, yeah, you can. He said, no. It'll go into whatever you're digging, coal, dirt, whatever, but then it don't want to come back out. So if you blunt it, when it goes in, it fractures whatever you're digging, the earth, the coal, whatever, and then that way you can pull the pick back out and then dig again.
And he didn't call it blunting. What did he call it?
That's what he called it, blunting. You blunt the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first and only pair of mine pick tongs that I ever saw.
And you hold them just like that, Papa. I'm gonna zoom in there so people can see what they look like. Yeah, let me look at them from the side. There you go. All right. Now slowly just spin them around there in your hand so they can see. There you go. Just like that. Nice. And those are what are they called, Papa?
Tongs or coal mining pick for this coal mining pick right here.
Okay. Thank you, Papa.
When I first found them, I didn't know what they were, but I said they're blacksmith tongs or something. And so then I sat and looked at them a little bit, and then it dawned on me what they were for.
Yeah. Had you ever seen a blacksmith use one of those?
Nope, never saw it. It's the only one that I ever saw.
Yeah.
First and only pair I ever saw. First and only pair I ever owned like this.
Yeah.